relevant to our investigation, Jubilees goes much further than any other Enochian text in two specific areas: the Great Flood and the demons it brought with it. The Book of Jubilees contains an unnervingly poetic description of the very moment the cataclysm came. As we know, the flood is closely intertwined with the release of the first demons. The Nephilim who drowned would die, and from them, their cursed spirits would be torn from their bodies. Instead of ascending to heaven, they were damned to walk the earth until the final day of judgment. So the fuel of demons was, and still is, an unquenchable torment, almost a mirror of the one that drove them to brutal violence in their lifetime as Nephilim. It's a terrible fate. According to the Book of Jubilees, it was quite a while after the Great Flood had passed that the first true demons began to cause humans trouble. It was specifically at this point that the demons emerged to lead this new generation astray, toward corruption and death. After the first few casualties, Noah's sons informed him, and Noah made a desperate plea to God. Surprisingly, God decided to grant Noah his wish in full. He ordered that all the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim be bound. That said, trouble was lurking. The spirits had a leader, a shadowy entity referred to by the title Mastema, which translates to Prince of Hostility. Before his Dark Legions could be cast away, Mastema quickly offered the Lord an alternative option. Quote, "Creator, let some of them remain before me, and let them listen to my voice, and do all that I shall say unto them. For if some of them are not left to me, I shall not be able to execute the power of my will on the sons of men, for corruption and leading them astray before your judgment. For great is the wickedness of the sons of men." And God said, "Let the 10th part of them remain before him, Mastema, and let 9 parts descend into the place of condemnation." End quote. Thus, while the overwhelming demonic population was greatly reduced, 10% would remain on Earth under the leadership of Mastema. And just 2 verses later, it's confirmed who Mastema is: the devil known as Satan.
All squared. All right. 3rd time doing this. Look, it is freaking hot. I finally found a place with a little bit of shade. This is the 3rd time making this. Note to self, use a better camera in the summer. I was going through, my GoPros kept overheating. This camera's just a little over $3 grand. Those are about $300. So you get what you pay for, I guess, right? So anyways, what's up, guys? It's good to be back. It's been a while, hasn't it? Yeah. Get rid of the glasses there. I've been wanting to make this video for a while. Let me get my notes out here, that way I don't miss anything. How do I start this? So I knew a long time ago, even when I was putting Zozo up for sale, I don't know, I just got, hopefully the wind. Man, I'm telling you, please. If it's windy, I'm sorry. Look, work with me. We're just gonna have to go through it because I only got like a little bit of time to go through this and get this done. When I was looking for this car, I knew that I wanted a black T-top stick car. That right there kind of narrowed it down. I didn't want, I mean, on top of it all, I didn't really want something that was like cloth, charcoal interior, like everything else. I found this car like a couple hours away. If the owner's watching, shout out to you. I appreciate you delivering it to me. This was like a really kind of unique find, especially being 30 years old. Now there's a lot, before we go through it here, there's a lot of things wrong with the car. I'm fully aware, but after 30 years, we expect. Like, just put a window regulator, or not a window regulator, I put a window motor in, and the regulator is riveted factory. This thing, I mean, I'll put like a little, I don't know, something up here, but that thing was like bone stock. It was perfect. It still had the little foam tape holding the wires in place. Like, you flip the speaker over, I mean, it still had the original Bose speakers in it. This car is like untouched. That's why I bought this thing, was because of the backstory on it. One, it's got a ton of miles, so it doesn't hurt my feelings to drive it, right? So I can use the car, I could put 1.7 million on it, whatever, who cares? I got it for a really good deal, and the dude brought it down to me, and the car is pretty much bone stock. For 30 years later, the engine, I think, Gen 2 LT1, so pretty much everything under the intake manifold is a small block Chevy 350. Cold air intake, and I think that's it. Car, I don't know if it sat for a while or what's going on, but there was a ton of problems with it, and I had to work a bunch of kinks out. I'll show you here in just a minute, but I've already been doing some repairs. Did I film it? No, but I mean, it's pretty simple, basic stuff. This car was supposedly right around the Midwest when it sold. I have a invoice here, and I'll put it up, from Greg Young Chevrolet in Lincoln, Nebraska, wherever that is. But anyways, yeah. So anyways, wholesale, and this was like right around COVID, 1970. So yeah, I don't know if this thing had a ton of problems back then. Clean title. Yeah, these cars are like a freaking cheat code. I mean, the car is so slow it won't get out of its own way, but literally, look, I mean, it's a cruiser. I know it's a cruiser. It's fun to drive, and for me, like I said, this was my first Camaro. This is what I cut my teeth on as far as Camaro goes. I'm really hoping that wind isn't coming through. This wasn't a purchase like I was just making the most of my money. It's just, cars go through, phases of their value in life, and I think that this is like the bottom of the bottom for this car. And to find a car that's unrestored, unmessed with, everything that's 100% original, that's 3 decades old, was pretty unheard of, and it fit all the criteria I wanted. Plus I got natural beige interior. So, and I got leather. This car was actually, and I'll put a little thing up here. Anyways, I'll put it up later. So anyways, this car was optioned with a 342 final drive in the rear end. It's a 266-to-1 first, and it just goes down to like I think a 0.63. So not quite as tall as Zozo had with the ZL1. I think Zozo was like a 0.51, but still, dude, this thing is like butter. I love the 342. Plus, if I don't want the 342, that's the best thing about these cars, is the tunability. I have so many, I pretty much have endless options. With the 6th gen, it was 285 or 373, pick one or the other and shut up. Or you could install a aftermarket diff. But I mean, deleting the ELSD is like stupid in my mind, because that's like the best part of the car. That's where Chevrolet really excelled as far as those cars goes, was in the suspension. the MagRide, the ELSD, having everything talk to each other and work in conjunction with each other, that was money for that car. But anyways, just let's hop inside here. This car is $33 a month for insurance, and then whatever I want to put in gas. And also, I'm gonna preface this by saying I haven't cleaned this car. I just kind of wanted to give you guys, because I go back and watch these videos pretty much for my own entertainment. So in the future, you know what I mean? So I left the car as is. It's still just like it got delivered. So the natural beige, actually here, in, out, like I said, this is the third time making this. So here is the natural beige here. Now, somebody did do a 98 to 02 center console swap. So I don't know how I feel about it. I hate the fit. I hate the gaps. I hate, but you know, the center console as a whole doesn't bother me. Thought I heard something. Anyways, oh, and I want to preface this. I've said this twice now, and I'm gonna say it a third time. You gooners on the internet doing this shit, stop. That is not correct. Boom. Get down. Show a little shaft, fellas. That, focus, is how it's supposed to be. I see that so many times with the shift boot pulled up, and it just drives me crazy. Guess we'll start with the interior, and then we'll go under hood, then we'll do the exterior, and we'll wrap this video up. So let's just hop in. Hey. Remember that? Oh, I love it. I just love how simple everything is. The radio, you know, the radio options, because this is the den and a half, so it has that adapter that sticks out. And when I'm shifting, like, my fingers might bump, you know what I'm saying? Also, super long throws. Jeez, I got spoiled with the 6th gen Camaro. But stereo options have really come down in price, and they offer a ton of features for not a lot of money. That is freaking awesome. So Apple CarPlay, I think backup cameras, you can tether, pair, bond, whatever. Again, tunability, options, so much better. Not saying like the 6th gen Camaro was bad, but it's just like, if you want something different, you're screwed. If you want what you have, you're good. But you know, anytime you want to step just a tiny bit outside the box, it's a ton of money, you're screwed. And the thing was kind of finicky. It didn't really work 100% of the time. You're gonna see the windshield. We got a crack in it. Dude, this thing right here, I'm surprised it didn't go through. There's like a big old frickin' 50 BMG bouncing off the, but it's got a big crater. So we're gonna have to go through, I'm gonna go through, I think I'll do like a video of everything wrong with the car. I'm gonna need a spare SD card for that one, because I do have the option to paint this stuff, and like the headliner and stuff, you know what I mean? I've been driving it with the T-tops out, and the wind flapping is really, it's taking a toll on it. So it's falling apart hard and fast. I think I'm gonna take care of the interior before I'm worrying about any performance or anything. There's little stuff like this, like that tin foil behind the glass is starting to pull away, and the glue is coming in, and you can see like the edges and everything. It just looks crappy. I don't even, is that rearview mirror not even? Oh shit. Yep. Okay. Yeah, you can tell. There's a design language to these cars, and for me, it's what I grew up with, so it makes sense to me. But you can tell there's a lot of people that just didn't know what they were doing or didn't care. Also, real fast before the GoPro overheats and we have to step outside. Listen to it start up. None of that waiting for it to fucking, I mean, I get why Camaro 6 did what it did, but my God, those cold starts are just ridiculous. Also, look, listen, track mode. If you want a little touring, snow and ice. Yeah, it's sport mode. You don't have, listen, look, I'm gonna shut it off here. That stupid, listen, that was the worst part of that Camaro. As a platform, as a whole, the whole architecture was that insane startup routine. The pushing the fucking buttons. Look. You just bump. All you do is stick the key in. That's the car. That's the car. And you're ready to go. You're ready to go. You just grab it, shift. Oh, man. It's insane how nice that is. Just to have that back in my life. So, boom. I love this car for that. You get in, bump the key, and away you go. The car has been pretty bulletproof as far as the major stuff, because 170,000 miles, and I think they compression checked it, and it was like 190. I think one cylinder checked 195, and like one whole bank checked 200. I haven't did it myself. I haven't checked or anything, but the owner, or the previous owner, seemed like a pretty straight up dude. Real solid guy. I'm being transparent about it, but I feel it's valid enough to bring it up. Anyways, yeah, interior is just simple. I love it. It has what you need and none of the shit that you don't. The ZL1, especially like on the CAN bus system, I didn't need all the crap. Like you open up the door and it's cool. It's gonna be cool for like 5 years, and then all that stuff's gonna start breaking. It's not a matter of if, it's when. And all that crap you're gonna have to keep track of, and the way that they measure electrical current now is such a fine gradation that it's just going to create problems down the road, and it's a headache and everything I don't want nothing to do with. I would rather hang back and work with this generation, and because I mean it's stupid capable if you can get the horsepower. And like I said, I've said it 1,000 times, you can put horsepower in anything. I have zero regrets so far. I might get it apart. It might be the biggest pain in the ass of the world. I'll say a bunch of bad words, and we'll reassess life at that moment. But I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be fun. So anyways, you know, this does have the small block Gen 2 LT1. It is cast iron block with aluminum heads. So you know, that's what everyone's like, oh, it's so heavy. Oh, you know what I mean? And they're saying it's a piece of shit. And I don't really see that to be the case. I mean, is it as good as Gen 5 LT1 or LT4? Not even close. But it's still a very capable motor, and there's a bunch of configurations that when I was younger I couldn't afford to have, but now probably so. Just like we did Wade Zozo, I went back to the scale. So we took Massima here back to the scale, and turns out, if it'll focus, boom, right there. 3440, and that was with a little over half a tank of gas, maybe 3/4, and that was it. The only thing I had was my lunchbox in the car. So that was like cruising, you know, weight, just how you'd run the car on the street. And yeah, the car does needs cleaned bad. It needs cleaned bad. The dash is cracked up there. Everything's pretty much cracked, which I'm cool with, because, and that's kind of where I was like okay with not getting an LS car, which I always wanted one. But I kind of thought to myself, I said, hey self, think about it. LS1 in 2025, is that the pinnacle of LS, and is that your in-game goal of where you would want the car to be? My answer was no. So I like the 93 to 97 look much better. I think it's a much more sinister, evil looking car. The front of the nose, actually, I think it's like one of the only one, or maybe a 3rd gen, but it's the only car that actually, every other generation was like stub nose, flat, or you know, flat face. And this car isn't. It's the actual, like, so I mean, when you stand in front of the car, it looks like a fucking UFO. It's just, it's so cool, dude. I mean, every time I open up the garage, I just stand in front of it, and it's like, it's so low. The windshield, it's just total rake. It's cool. I'm gonna tell you about the problems I've been having, my fix, and it's a hood popped. Yes, it is. Yeah, I got one dent right there. I don't know if you can see. Let me get the light. There you go. There you go. So that's how you know the hood and the quarter panels are the only steel components to this car. Boom, there she be. 14 pounds of dirt, probably from the 90s, probably, yeah, I would say. But anywho, I have ran, so those of you that have been following the channel, since I got the car, I haven't been able to drive it because it kept overheating. Everything I do, replace the water pump, replace the thermostat, you know, all the low-hanging fruit, all the sensors and everything. I went through with the test light, checked the harness, was getting 12 volts power down to the fan motors. That's kind of where I would recommend. I have a Power Probe 2. They're probably, I don't know what iteration they're on now, probably a fucking 10. I don't know, but I got mine a long time ago. I applied, you know, I grounded it and I applied 12 volts power to the fan, and dude, they were like, so I got new fans, which on this car you can replace just the motor. So, and that was pretty cool because I got motors for $31.99, so like $32 a piece. So 2 motors, and essentially you got brand new fans. That's what I love about this era of cars, is you can actually replace small components. And I'm gonna tell you right now, throttle cable, oh, how I've missed you. It's instant response. Let's get it started here. I'll set you on glass. Let me start the car. Everything apart, tested the relays and all, blah blah blah, went through all the components, bench testing everything, and I found there's one little tiny green wire that runs under this harness, and that's just where I've tapped into the yeah. So I mean, in a nutshell, the wiring's fried. And basically, from what the research that I have done is, I can't find anybody that's worth a shit, or any shop that's worth. It's either like full-on race car, you know what I'm saying? I'll get it here in a minute. Full-on race car, and you know, which 30-40 grand to rewire a whole car just seems a little bit overkill for me, simply because I'm not looking to take this car apart every weekend and you know, refresh the motor all the time, pull the trans in and out, and I'm just not looking to do all that. I need a simple but robust OE wiring harness. So I think I'm pretty much on my own here. So the horsepower, the this and that, and everything, it's gonna be on the back burner. I'm cool. This thing has like 300 horsepower, which I'm okay with. I figured it out to be a wiring issue, so right now I found this kit on Amazon, and it has a wiring bypass with the new sensor. You screw in either like a cylinder head or a water pump, anything that's going to be like directly in the line of flow with the coolant. So I've got a separate relay, a separate system for that, and I upgraded to a 3-core radiator. I don't know how many cores the factory is, but cooling's a big issue on these things. It drank like an extra gallon of coolant, which in a way made me feel better. Pretty much it. That's pretty much the starting point. Everything seems to be, it's old. It's old. It's 30 years old, and it seems to be like wearing normal. But yeah. The bumper covers, as far as damage, now I've already talked about the windshield paint delam. For those of you that don't know, this was a big issue with the car in the 90s, early 2000s. And this is why I don't want to cut and buff this whole car. You know, because you got like, I don't know what this is. I don't even know if that's coming through on the camera. But it's got all these little crazing marks. And it looks like whatever it was painted on top of, I don't know if it was kosher or it's cool. I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, I can tell you right now, just by the texture difference, this fender is aftermarket. It fits like shit. It's low here, high here. Oh, it's high until right there, and then it just you can see it's too big for the fender or for the mirror. That side fits a lot better, and as you can tell, it's just the door's been rubbing on it. So I can tell you this car's had a fender on it, and I know, let me see if I can't get any light, but that spray, I love that there's so many shitty painters out there in the world. It's like telltale signs. I know right away. But anyways, I can tell you that this door's been resprayed, and somebody has obviously freaking KO'd this quarter panel here. So anyways, that's fine, because it looks like we got a tiny bit of, maybe at this point I'd call it flash rust. I don't know. It's worth investigating to see how bad it is. So whether we need to get in there, probably do need to get in there. I mean, obviously we need to get in there. But we got a little spider cracking, and I would say that this, either the bumper cover got hit, you know, and it just barely pushed it in, and it just was just enough to fold and break the paint, because these are that old, really gummy urethane, the bumper covers on these are. So yes, like I said, I think composite, everything is composite SMC on these cars except for the quarter panels and the hood. So we should, oh, and I think the gas door, is it showing signs of rust? Yeah, it sounds metal. Anyways, we got some spider cracking on the bumper cover. I think I'm just gonna replace them when it comes time to do the exterior of the car. And I'm gonna replace them both, because I don't know if you can see in there, but that front bumper cover's torn too. So I got a long road to hoe before I fucking get to any performance or any like go fast goodies. That alone's probably gonna be, I'm just guessing, 20-30 grand. You know what I mean? By the time we get through, I don't know what the interior is going to cost. The interior is probably going to be 3, 4, 5 grand. I don't know. We'll see. But the interior right now, what do you guys think? Should we change it? Leave it? The thing is, it's such a high mileage car. I'm under no obligation emotionally to leave it stock. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, everything's wore out and it needs to get replaced. So leave a comment below. Oh, also, I don't know if you can see that. I don't know how you can't see that if the camera's picking it up. But when you run your drone into a car, it will fuck shit up. So I mean, I'm just saying, you're probably like, what's those big tiger stripes on your car? Mavic 3, kaboom. Time to rebuild. Should we keep the center console, and should we keep the color? That's what I want input in on right now for the time being. And then I'm gonna have to freaking focus on getting some wire going. Let me check my notes here to make sure I didn't forget anything. Body damage plan. Nope, I got everything. Oh, also, okay, so let me get a drink here. I know there's a lot of people that are gonna be like, there's no way that you like the 93 to 97 better than the 98 to 02. 98 02, the Catfish is such a better looking car. I promise you that's not the case. Like I said, this is the first Camaro I had, so it's kind of like home to me, and it just looks better. I also have data showing that you guys like the first iteration of Camaro in pretty much every generation except for this one. Now the 60s was like they would do minute changes year to year, and everybody loved the first gen, so there was no like version 1, version 2, version 3. Second gen, everybody loves the 71 through 73 as opposed to the 73 to what was it, 81 or something. And then the third gen, everybody loved the first iteration of that as well. And the fourth gen, that's where you guys changed. Because when you go to the fifth gen, it goes right back in the sixth gen as well. And then, you know, I'm sure it's going to be that way in the seventh gen. Who knows? But anyways, I found it kind of interesting data point that this was the only car that everybody loved the 98 to 02. So that's why I recently went back and asked, was it the car, the styling, the body lines and everything, or was it the motor? Because when we were, you know, in the 90s, everybody was promised, and Ford did it too, all these, they were throwing around the word modular. Modular was everything was modular. The 5.4 was modular, the 4.6 was modular, the 3, you know, the 5.7 is, you know, LS, LS1, LS2, LS3, and they were supposed to be like Legos, V8 Legos. And in some ways it kind of worked out that way, in some ways it didn't, but it was all aluminum in people's heads, more modern. It turns out that the LS was cheaper and easier to produce for GM, so that's why it got marketed as such, and I think it was all just hype. But you know, the LS is really easy to make power with, you know what I mean? They sound, oh my god, they sound good. And you know, I think everybody was just tired of the small block. So yeah, but anyways, interesting tidbit I thought I would bring up. Every generation, everybody liked the version 1 better than version 2 or version 3. But 93 to 97, a lot of people have a hard time believing that. They think I'm just coping or whatever. But I genuinely do like the 93 to 97 better. The front end looks way better. The tail lights look way, the whole ass end looks way better. I like it better. So anyways, I just kind of wanted to clear the air on that. As far as the license plate goes, hey, 1 down, 49 more to go.